Hey guys, what's up? It's Mr. Isaac. Hey, it's part 4, and it's short. We're gonna make it. All right, 8th grade STARR review, part 4. We are talking about my favorite because it's all 7th grade material. Okay, which is what I teach. So let's get into it. All right. So waiting this to load. Talking about ecology. All right. We're talking about organisms, their environment, and how they interact. All right. So we're going to have a bunch of little practice problems, but the image shown in the top left, algae, phytoplankton bloom will create a dead zone in the ocean. What is a human activity that caused the algal bloom? Typically, it's going to be runoff and pollution of fertilizer and other energy sources, allowing algae to absolutely go crazy in the ocean. Okay, human activity would a dead zone in the ocean greatly affect? What human activity? Fishing, typically, commercial fishing. They can't survive without oxygen, and when algae boom, they take up so much oxygen in the water that it pretty much is all gone, and so algae start to die over time. But when there's no oxygen in the water, fish can't breathe, so they're going to die. What could happen to fish populations if fishing regulations were not put into place? We could overfish and therefore remove organisms from their ecosystems, and it could be a bad deal. All right, so the number of marine species in the ecosystem would decrease. Remember, as biodiversity goes down, so does sustainability. Whereas if biodiversity goes up, sustainability goes up of the ecosystem. What impact does human trash floating in the ocean have on marine animals? Well, as you can see, this bird ate a little bit of the trash. Not good. The trash is going to kill animals. It's not good. When oil spills occur, most oil is going to float on the surface of the water. What happens to seabirds, depending on, or diving fish and floating on the water surface? Well, they're going to get oil in them and they're going to die. Okay, it's not very good. Artificial reefs are structures humans place in the oceans. What is the purpose of an artificial reef? Excuse me. It's supposed to give a space for coral to grow on and therefore provide more habitat, give back, okay, create new habitat for marine species, okay? If natural disasters occur, how does biodiversity help the ecosystem be more sustainable? Well, the more biodiverse your ecosystem is, okay, the more easily you're able to deal with losing one of your species. So if an environment changes very, very rapidly and a species cannot keep up and becomes extinct, when you have a lot of biodiversity, you have a lot of different species, someone can take that niche or that job or that role that the extinct species had and pick up the slack and do the work for them. All right, and so the more diverse population, the more species, they have more options for favorable traits to allow them to adapt and change to their environment. Okay, which of the following ecosystems is least sustainable? You're looking for whichever ecosystem, a grassy park where the grass is short, and there aren't very many animals, just one bird observing. So one, that's very low amount of organisms or low biodiversity. Lower biodiversity, like we said, less sustainable. Okay, a quick burning fire raged through 2 areas pictured. Which area is most likely to survive and bounce back from the fire, forest or the wheat field, and why? Okay, if they all burn down, there would just be soil left. A wheat field is going to be able to be produced a lot quicker than the trees are, and so the wheat field is oops all right, so which of these 2 areas is going to be able to survive, either a forest or a wheat field? The forest is going to have more biodiversity than the wheat field is going to have, but and so that therefore the answer is going to be the forest. But if they both were to completely burn down, I would actually disagree, and I would say that the wheat field could recover much quicker because wheat is a much faster growing species than trees are, right? So the climax species of a forest might take 100, 200, 300 years to come back and look the exact same from a massive forest fire than a wheat field is only going to take a year, maybe. Okay. So just keep that in mind moving forward. And really, when they look for biodiversity, think to yourself, what are they looking for? They're looking for sustainability, or they ask about sustainability, link that with biodiversity. Okay, so try to think about what are they looking for here. Okay, because if they talked about climax species, it might be something different. Okay, a farmer plows a field to get ready for planting. If he leaves the field empty for a while, ecological succession will occur. What will the first changes in the farmer notice? Well, he's going to notice pioneer species. And what's the pioneer species when you have soil? It's going to be weeds, grasses, small plants. Okay, and so large mature trees are not going to grow in a year. Okay, soil will begin to form. We already have soil. He's plowing the field, right? So there's got to be soil. Small trees and shrubs will grow. Trees and shrubs take a while, whereas weeds and grasses grow very rapidly. So that's going to be your answer. Okay, if we look here, the event, habitat wiped out by a disaster, a fire. Okay, there is soil left over after this fire. What does the pioneer species do for the more complex organisms? Okay, what does the pioneer species? So the pioneer species is going to allow a food source. Okay, pioneer species modify the area to allow larger and more complex organisms to grow. So the grass is going to come back. The small plants are going to come back. Then the things that eat those small plants are going to come back. And the things that eat the animals that eat the small plants is going to come back. And then slowly the entire ecosystem is going to mature completely. Okay. That is it, guys. It's a really fast one. All right. So make sure this is all ecology stuff. Make sure to slow it down. Basically, your general rule of thumb is more biodiversity, more sustainability. Less biodiversity, less sustainability. Ecological succession is all about pioneer species. And what do you start with? Primary succession starts with bare rock. Bare rock grows moss and lichen, whereas secondary succession starts with soil, just like these two examples here. And the pioneer species is going to be small plants and weeds and grasses. Okay. Catastrophic events are what set our ecosystems back to the beginning, and then they have to grow and go through ecological succession. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you absolutely dominate the STARR, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.